All right, everyone. Let's get this show on the road. Everybody can hear me, right? Give me a yes if you can hear me. And happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Hold on one second. Sorry, both my dogs just busted in here like I stole something, and I needed to shut the room door again. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Tim, no, you will not see others' chats. So, Stuart, not at this. I need to just make sure of the edits, and stuff like that. But I will. I'll let you guys know. And thank you so much for that. Yep, it is. My wife, I guess, technically her baby bump's first Mother's Day, as we're expecting our first son here in the next, I don't know, in November timeframe. So, but Stuart, yes, I can send it to you now if you need me to. Just shoot me an email and then, but I will post it though later. Oh, thank you so much, guys. And perfect. Well, let's get this thing rolling here today. A lot of craziness going on in this world over the last few 48 hours, and we will talk. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate that. And let's do this. Yeah, I've been keeping it in for we've known for 6 weeks now. So, but really quickly, want to let you guys really quickly. I have to disclaim the disclaimer, as they say. Um, Look, trading has risks. You got to understand the risk, be willing to accept those risks and take on those risks. I am a licensed financial professional, but I'm acting in the capacity that I'm acting in tonight. And as always, is simply just to give you opportunity, and then you have to decide if that opportunity is right for you or not. And then lastly, if you take any of the trades that I take, just know you're doing so of and on your own volition as well. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Bert, it is as always, it is. But sometimes they don't always turn out because we have the great power of technology, as you know, Bert. And sometimes the recordings don't always end up well. And one time, I don't know if they're in here or not, but one time I sent a recording to somebody, and all she got when she hit play was lines of code. It was nothing else but lines of code. So, that's just weird sometimes. So, if the recording does do what it's supposed to do, then it generally will get posted. Or at least part of it will get posted as well. Anybody first time here? Yes or no? Anybody's first time in one of these sessions? Yes or no? Let me see. Jamie, thank you for coming. Scott, second time. Good for you as well. Beautiful. All right. So, really quickly, for those that don't know me, so several of you in here, people are some are still new. My name is James Bishop. I own a managed fund, which I am happy to. You're going to see a live update here today, guys. You're going to see a live update here, because the fund for the year, we are now up 10.62%. So fund is now up 10.62% as of into April for 30, 2026. And overall, we're up. We average about 27% a year, and have averaged that for the last 12 years. And if you had put in $250,000 into the fund back in January of 2014, you'd be sitting at 2.69 million. This is one of the things that you have access to through me. So later on, I'll give you guys a chance to book time with me on that. Or there's some retirement planning strategies. And I don't know if you guys knows this, but newsflash, there are certain things out there that people use that you don't, that separate you from them simply because they're smart on how they build and pass on wealth. Like a lot of people don't know that one of the biggest tools out there that people don't, that is the most underutilized investment tool ever is insurance. Like it is appalling. Here, let me tell you this. This is actual numbers directly from the Federal Reserve on economic data. 88.92% of all premiums, annuity premiums, and life insurance premiums are held by the top 1% of wealth holders in the United States. The top, and then the bottom 80 or bottom 90% only hold about 12% of all premiums in the United States. It is appalling. It's probably the best way to generate and pass on wealth and build lifetime wealth. And I'd love to talk with you guys one-on-one about that as well. Now, really quickly, a couple of housekeeping items. First, Wealth Watch newsletter. If you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. This is my two of my newsletters I actually do. One is Wealth Watch. The other is Energy Watch. These are stocks, stock picks, as well as patterns I see in the market and differing things I see in the market constantly that I think would greatly benefit people. And so I give you guys these opportunities, right? I give you different ways to take advantage of different stocks and things like that. I'm going to send you guys, here is the Wealth Watch, and then here is the Energy Watch. Energy Watch specifically focuses on energy and energy stocks and energy companies, as well as metals and things that impact technology and power tomorrow's future. As well. And those two come out daily to you, and you'll have access to those. And then the other is our Discord. So we do have a pretty good Discord. It's still growing. People are still communicating on there. We have, people talking about what broker they use and how they use things and the trades they do and, differing things like that. I'm going to give you all an invite to the channel. You only need to use this once, and join the channel, but you get access to this channel for good, right? This is free. You're getting connected with all sorts of traders, so that way you can communicate with them, ask them questions, all of that stuff. So reach on out, use this Discord as well. And let's jump into this week's fundamental news announcement. So Tuesday, we have small business index. Tuesday, we also have CPI numbers coming out, CPI and core CPI. Does everybody know the difference between CPI and core CPI? Yes or no? And Bryce, I still owe you a call. I apologize. I'll tell you about everything going on here lately, but we'll catch up very, very soon. Does everybody know, yes or no, the difference between CPI and core CPI? Yes or no? So no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Okay, good. Well, for those that don't know, both of these are measures of inflation. And one is a measure of a basket of goods, and it includes energy and food. The second is core CPI, and this is a basket of goods that removes energy and food. And this is a way to that measures inflation in the overall here in the US, right? Now, the reason why the non-energy and food is very important is because the United States doesn't set the energy price. That's set globally, right? The United States does not set food prices. That's set globally. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes or no? Does that make sense? Perfect. Now, that's why we don't use energy, but energy and food are two of our biggest expenditures in the US, and it's going to get even higher over the next little bit. And I actually am planning, and I can foresee that inflation is going to get worse. Okay. I don't know if it will get, 1980s bad, but it's going to get worse. On top of, the oil production, on top of the, 20% of the global energy, global oil, on top of the helium, on top of urea, ammonia, and nitrogen that all come through the Straits of Hormuz, it's kind of locked up, and we need that stuff, one, to grow food, but also to also for global energy supply. That means if you take out 20% of the energy supply, or oil supply, I should say, and all of a sudden you have the same demand but 20% less supply, you now have a price steepening curve. Just like what we're seeing with diesel, just like what we're seeing in various other places. So, in various other areas. And then diesel, now last week, again, we saw another 15 cents rise. So now we are up 67 cents per gallon. And I'm not talking at the pump, I'm talking from the producer to the distributor. And that means that since diesel is distributed using diesel, you have to add in the distributor's cost because of employment and, cost of goods. And then it comes to the pump and then it gets purchased. So that probably will add another dollar, maybe even $1.50 to that price on top of where we are. When diesel prices rise, that means that's going to cost farmers and shipping companies more. When those two things, those are going to be directly passed on to us, the end consumer, at the end of the day. So, wow, that is insane, Dan. Um, it's guys, that's just one of those things that we may see come out, and we'll talk about, when this is in. Don't take this screenshot. This was last week's screenshot. I need to get this week's. This is the main main companies I want to focus on for this week. We have Tyson Foods, Sony, Occidental Petroleum. Now, what I just said, FYI, right? Sharon, yes, I will be doing another one. Don't you worry. But I'll also send you the recording. I'll post it in the Discord as well when I get that processed and posted, right? But as I was saying, so we have Tyson's Food, Sony, Occidental Petroleum, Electronic Arts, C Limited, Cisco, Take Two, Alibaba, John Deere, JD Sports, Baidu, AMAT, Applied Materials, Tapestry, and Wix, all reporting this week. If you guys want to screenshot that and type in done when you got it screenshotted. And I will also, if somebody can, just post that in the Discord for me as well. Appreciate it. Post that screenshot in the Discord for me as well. And then, oh yeah, we already had the fundamental announcements. And so before we jump into the charts, let's go through some major news. Now, one of the big pieces of news that I wanted to talk about, I don't know how widely reported it was. Sometimes I don't even watch news. I just read news, and I have a bunch of news, different aggregator things that bring news to me, and so I read through that every morning and stuff like that. I also have like a Monday, like a daily market breakdown of different sectors and major news that affect each sector, as well as the stocks that I should be potentially looking at for a sector that comes to me every single week. And that isn't like AI curated. That is from this lovely piece of $5,000 a month software. But one of the things that I saw, it might have been yesterday, it might have been this morning, I don't know. All the days are coming together right now. I know today ends in a Y, and I know tomorrow will as well. So that's all I know what day it is. But whenever it was this weekend, there was an incident at one of the plants in New Orleans, and one of the oil refineries in New Orleans, and that plant actually blew up and is now offline, and that is refining 200,000 gallons of gasoline every day. That is now offline and off production. Okay, offline and off production. Okay. So That is pretty, I don't know. There will be an impact into that, is all I'll say. What that impact looks like, it probably will increase gas prices a little. I don't know how much 200,000 gallons of oil, gas a day would impact the overall, pricing, but it's going to have some impact. The next thing that we saw is Iran submitted its proposal to end the war, and moving forward, and the president, Trump, said, "Don't like it, very bad deal, not going to take it," and so we continue on. Okay. Um, so we continue on. That's weird, Jamie, that the Discord link was blank. If I click on it, I'm gonna click on it live. No, it brought it up, and then you just hit open app or continue in browser. So I'll send it again. Um, just in case, Command C, Command V. There you go. Now, so with President Trump not liking that, this means it'll still continue. Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe something will happen. Maybe you'll get some good sleep tonight, wake up happier, maybe stay at a Holiday Inn Express, and we might see, a change, right? I remember those commercials as a kid. That Holiday Inn Express and I Feel Like Chicken Tonight is two commercials that have stuck with me my entire life. We have also more meetings in with Rubio and Witkoff, and they're meeting a Qatari mediator in Miami this past Saturday, which got us to today. We have Broadcom in talks with Apollo and Blackstone for a $35 billion financing package that would help fund the development of AI chips. Palantir and investors worry if cheaper AI models threaten companies' expensive software layer, which I don't think that it can. I think what will they'll need to integrate with certain things in AI, or integrate their software to AI, which can be dangerous. And then Dunkin', yes, Dunkin' Donuts, owner Inspire Brands confidentially files for IPO, seeking a $20 billion valuation. NVIDIA names Goldman veteran Susanna Noren to the board of directors. Microsoft data center site in Africa has been delayed by disagreements with the Kenyan government. And then continuing on with trade and tariff issues. Obviously, those tariffs were shut down again. So we will see how this goes, and how this continues on. Trump is planning on firing FDA Commissioner Marty Makary amid failing public trust. So just a whole lot of different things going on everywhere in the market. We did see, some great beats out of the market. We saw some great earnings out of the market. Tech sector looks really good, but it was more so tech than anything else. Non-farm payrolls increased 115,000 stronger than the 62,000 consensus. Blowout March gains revised up 185 from 178, though February was revised lower. Unemployment held at 4.3%, but rose to an unfounded basis. Healthcare, again, was the biggest area of job gains. So it's healthcare areas that are adding jobs more so. And eventually that will come to a head and just kind of slow down and stop. And it'll be interesting to see, in the next few months, we'll start to see more of these companies, either who are these tech company employees that their severance packages are done, so they now can start filing for unemployment, and then that may increase unemployment. Or if they're working in the gig economy, then they just literally, right? They'll just literally not ever report, which is interesting. And then there's a few other kind of things that we'll talk about in the markets. Now, there are some stocks because we're going to get into several stocks here. There's some stocks that I want to look at with you guys, and then I want a few that we can look at together from you. So if you guys want to type in what stocks you're ready to look at, go ahead and type those in for me now, my friends. ANET, you got it. Every time I see some of these tickers, like I just think of the worst dad jokes ever. Like, oh, went fishing, but I forgot a net. SanDisk, SNDK, AMD, Nvidia, SHAK. With Intel, do you mean INTC? Is that what you mean, Ralph? That's Intel. That's their ticker. CHPY. PayPal, Coinbase, CN, Marvell. Let's go Occidental Petroleum. Uber. Micron, SAP. All right, let's do this thing real quick, okay? So, one company, a little company called VCX. I noticed I got a lot of texts from some individuals that they have my cell phone number, and because they're clients of mine, and they got into VCX and they're quite happy with me. VCX was a buy for the first time buy. We bought it at like 70, $80 or something like that. It ran up to 500, came back down. When it hit like 230 or something like that, I closed out. It pulled back. It fell down to, I entered back at like 150. Then I entered it again at about 80. And then I just kind of held it from there. And VCX ran up. My price target is still 241.24, right? 241.24. I do see some gaps getting filled, right? We did fill gap one, filled, gap two, filled. We have one more gap at 114.57 for this thing to fill. And we could see this though run up to fill this price target here at 241.24 on VCX. Maybe I should make that chart large. Not everybody's looking at a 32-inch monitor. I'm sorry about that. But so 241 is my long-term price target on this. I think this could still happen in the next few weeks, especially as we get closer and closer to either the SpaceX or Anthropic IPO. I absolutely could see this happening in the next few weeks. Now, if we pull back to 121, then I could see, 232 being my next price target before the 241 ultimate price target. But I still see this as a buy and hold and a long-term hold. I will sell some of my position, probably sell a good chunk of my position at 241. And then we do pull back to 114, I'll be adding to it. And then I'll just kind of let things, I'll still hold some shares in this for a long term. You know, let's take a look now. Where did I put that? Oh, here we go. NTLA. Is anybody in VCX? Yes or no? Anybody in VCX? Yes or no? Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, if you are, just use caution as well. Like, here's what I also want you to do maybe on your charts. Use something like a counter trend line. And if come out, like a good 40-degree angle or so, if this breaks below, 180 and it doesn't like immediately come back up the next day or something like that, get out. Right, get out at that point in time. Don't try to be the hero and hold forever. That's one of the things that I'm very big on is like protection of profit, because that's just my goal, right? My goal is to protect profit at the end of the day. And oh yeah, let me do a couple things here. delete that one. And then so we are still in that buy zone. You know, everything is going well with this. Let me take that one off and turn on one other thing. There we go. So that's still doing well. Let's look now at NTLA. So NTLA, they are working on, you know, a cure for, I think it's pancreatic cancer or one of those drugs. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. But NTLA is definitely a company I am very much a proponent of. I bought it at $8, took the ride all the way up to 17, let it fall, back up to 17, let it fall, back up to 14, and I'm just looking to break above 1709. I believe that we will see this at 2508. And they're apparently their clinical trials are going very well. There's a gap there. There's a gap at 42. And there's a gap even higher because at one point this thing was up to $200 per share. Now, I think if they do have the big breakthrough and they get somewhere into the $75 to $120 mark, you're going to see one of the bigger pharmaceutical companies pick them up, and then they will go from there. We'll see what that looks like. But, you know, they do report earnings on Monday. So as long as they lose less than 91 cents a share and have more than $13.81 million as revenue, then bam, we will probably see this give a nice spike up come Monday. If it doesn't and it pulls back, guess what? I'll just add to my position and be happy. I'm long-term hold on this one as well. And then, but we are already up since we called the buy, $5.10 a share, and I think we took profit once. Now that was VCX where we took profit once. Okay. Let's keep this going. And all right, I'm gonna put this over here, get this out of the way, and have this and then this. This is how we'll do it. Okay. We'll look at, there was another that I wanted to look at. Nokia back up to 1282, which is quite nice. Again, that's a $5.79 share. Short-term target was already reached, so we're ahead of that. Long-term target is next. Nokia is, I know my man Dennis in here still loving that company, which has been awesome, you know, to see. Got as high as 14, down now to 12. Could see it fill this gap down here at 1134 before it takes its next rally up. This is a company that is developing 6G technology that NVIDIA took in. They literally took in and made a major investment into the company. Let's see, not there. 1, 2, nope. 1, 2, nope. 1, 2, nope. And so that is our high. So we will more than likely, you know, this is spot on. 1091 is the pullback, and then 19 to $20 will be the next rally up. Right? Nokia has been is going to probably continue to be a great company to look at and look into. So I'm all for anybody looking at this, but caution right now. You know, we see buying energy is kind of overbought, selling energy is selling off as well. So with these two moving both down, 1130 is where I think the bottom may be. Well, the bottom I think is 1091, but 1130 is where I'd look to it to get it, and then look to buy it and hold it till 1895. And then we'll see where it goes from there. Let's see. Let's go. Netflix is up 98 cents, where, you know, my long-term target on it is 123, short-term is 107. And I think that will continue to be up. Charter Communication, that is back down. I think that is, you know, that'll just be a hold. VCX PPTA is back at break even. Nike, we're down $1.89 in that company. Still think Nike will be, you know, will move forward. So let me run through a couple of these. So a couple of these are some of these are like long-term holds and things like that of small companies that I think are kind of like future movers, right? Um, So one is Qubit, QUBT. This was actually a recommendation that I actually did in Wealth Watch a while ago. And we saw it break the trend line, fall, looked, and now it's rallying back up. And I'm still looking for it. Gap one filled. Gap two hasn't filled, but what I love is that we had a low, a higher low, a high, and a higher high. So we're still in an uptrend here, right? So if we are looking for an entry, you could break this counter trend line, look for a rally to go from 965 up to 1133 is my first target, 1293 second, and 1537 the third. I still feel this is like we're a little far off from quantum computing. Now, quantum computing for everyday use. Let me just say that. But does everybody understand quantum computing? Yes or no? RVMD. I'll have to look at it. RVMD. I'm going to look at that Jaten today as well. I put it. Okay. So let me just give you guys like a breakdown of quantum computing. So in regular computing, right, as many people know, and you don't need me to explain, where is my handy dandy writing stick for my pewter? There we go. Where's it at? Come on, load somewhere. Oh, I then froze my computer real quick. Hold on. Well, we'll figure out. We'll just use this for right now. So with 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 regular computing, right? It works off binary code. Okay. Which means anything that I am doing right now is coded as a 1 or 0. Now, what quantum computing does, and you have to have a little bit of understanding of quantum physics here, and only one concept in quantum physics, which is called the superposition. What the superposition means is that something can be in two states at one time, right? Like it can be a solid and a liquid at the same time. It can be a gas or a liquid, or gas or a solid at the same time. That's what quantum physics and quantum mechanics mean. It gives you the ability to be one or the other at the same time. So not only is it 1 or a 0, but instead of binary code, you now have 4 positions that it can be, right? Because it can be 1 0 or 0 1 or 0 0 or 1 1, right? Because it can be 4 things at once. And so it gives you a view of infinite possibility, or 4 separate universes where 4 separate things can be true. Does that make any sense at all? Yes or no? Priyanka, we already did VCX. And happy Mother's Day to you as well. So it can be 4 things at one time. Does that make sense? Yes or no? I know that's a little like, look, I've been reading about quantum stuff since like college. It's just like a fun thing. So Patrick, think about it this way, right? Let's say that you were deciding on whether to take a job. So there's one reality where you took the job, and there's one reality where you didn't take the job. There's one reality where you didn't take the job, but you got the exact same job in your city, in your current city. And then there's one reality where you didn't take the job and you lost your job, your current job. right? So like four separate things can happen, and it gives you the ability to see all four separate things and then figure out what the most likely income is based on all four separate things. Okay? And it's wild when you start going down this road. Basically, if you really want to learn about quantum, I hate to say this, but the Avengers movie, it teaches you a lot about quantum. It actually, and it's all of it's accurate. Or think of like a multiverse scenario where everything is connected by almost proving string theory, where there's infinite number of universes and they're all connected by one thing, right? By one decision, by one thing. And there's so many different versions. Well, that's what quantum computing allows. And a quantum computer, okay, can do, this is going to sound like a made up number. It just sounds fake. Like it can do literally 7 septillion number of calculations a second. Let me repeat that. 7 septillion, okay, calculations a second. It is the only thing we literally have invented a tool on this earth that Google has access to and a couple of other companies have access to that can literally, it's the only thing on earth that can crack Bitcoin, the code behind Bitcoin. But not only can it crack it, it can crack it in like minutes. It's not like going to take it like years. Like it's a few minutes. Quantum computing is so vast, it can literally hack into every single person's bank account on the planet in like, I think it's like less than 6 minutes is what somebody postulated, right? Patrick, it's a whole hell of a lot of them, right? Patrick asks, how many zeros is that? A whole lot of them, Patrick. More. It's just a lot. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. You know what I mean? So, it is like, it's a very interesting septillion, Jerry. So you know how you have million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, septillion, or sextillion, then septillion. So it would be 7. It would be what? 7 million, 7 millions. So 7 with like 49 zeros behind it, I believe it would be. It's insane when you like that I can do that. So that's how much computing power is out there. It is like another level, but it can do so many calculations all in an instant that quantum computing, I feel, is it's not like AI is going to disrupt stuff, but quantum computing is going to take everything in the world to another level. Because not only will you be able to like run a test on medicine to see if it would cure the disease, but it will it'll test every chemical in that medicine and every combination of the way the different molecules will affect the human body and give you the perfect medicine to cure that person, which is infinitely better than what we do now. But we now have this technology. And so quantum computing, I truly feel, is like, that's the next wave. And when I say the next wave, don't say, well, James, this didn't go up to $1 billion in June. No, it's not. It's going to be like years. You're buying, this is like if you bought Apple at $8. This is the type of opportunity I'm talking about, right? So there's a few companies out there that's working on things, okay? A few companies that's working on things. So Google, right? Yeah, so 24 zeros. Okay. So I was a little bit off there with so I was, too far off. So 24, so it's 10 to the 24th, so 24 zeros. Right? So, Patrick, thanks for Googling that. Now, the thing with quantum computing is that it will be a game changer. And there's a few companies working on stuff. QUBT is one, right? This is a $9 stock. If it gets to 15, I'll be happy. If it gets back to 24, 25, I'll be thrilled. And then I'll probably sell like half of my position and then keep half my position for a while, right? Not caring if it comes back down, not caring if it goes back up kind of deal, right? Rigetti, that is a good one, as well. I still own a few shares. I took the ride all the way up, sold like right at like $50 or something like that. I said, this is way overvalued for what it is. It doesn't exist in this state yet, but you're starting to see it starting to make the higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So we could see this begin to rally up. And so there's a case for a Rigetti. There's also a case for QBTS. That's the other one. Those are the three that I'm going to probably be in. Now, more research and more and deeper and like where I'm taking these trades and all of that, I'm going to release that stuff in Wealth Watch in the newsletter coming up this week. But I just wanted to put those on your radar for now. Lumen is another one. LUMN. Lumen Tech, they're not quantum computing. They are a technology company. They, as you can see, they're starting to recover, making those higher highs, higher lows, which is always what I like to see. $8.48. Yes, it's that small mid cap, range, something I don't really particularly trust or like to trade. But I also am looking at companies and their structure. If things change with the company and its structure, then I'm out. That's just it. Right, I'm out. That's just it. And so Lumen is one. Joby Aviation, there is a partnership with the U.S. military, and that is like in effect, and they're using it and it's working. So this is and they actually are opening a flight center here in Kissimmee, Florida. Basically, it's those vertical takeoff helicopter type plane, personal transport vehicles where people will be able to fly from one part of the city to the other in something they can fly themselves. Super easy to fly. Very, it's really like living in the age of the Jetsons with this thing. So I know it's going to be used here in Orlando, and they already have them. And I know there is use of them in the military as well already. Like this is not like postulated. This is in practice, and that's one of the things I always like. I very much don't like the, hey, this could happen, but I love the it is happening. Another company I want to talk about is our UNH. Is anybody in UNH? Yes or no? Boy, be honest with me. You don't have to lie to me now. When it went from, this area of like 3 or 290, I think is one of the ones that we got into. Or where were we? No, we got in like down here at like 300 or something like that. And it fell. Y'all got a little mad at me, didn't you? Didn't you? I know you did. It's all right. It's all right. I love it. Love it. All right. I know. Look, I always say it. I can go from Nostradamus to Nostradamus in just a week's time. You know what I mean? And that's what we saw, right? We saw this rally like crazy because they're earning their profit. So this gap was now filled. That was a big target for us, is this gap right here. This gap is looking to get filled. We are still rallying up, but we did break the uptrend. We came up behind it. We retested it. This is the point in time at which, let me just tell you guys, either A, use a trailing stop, set it up like if it were me and I was still in this, I'd set my trailing stop at like 360, right? Give it, 365. Give it like $15 of breathing room. But if it hits here and starts to slam back down to fit these gaps, then you're good. Then you're out and you're not mad, right? And then we can always rebuy in at these lows. And I already have pending order set for 284 and 324. But I'm out of UNH right this moment. All of my shares are out, full disclosure. And then I'll be looking to get back in at 284 to take it to 471 and then our 580. I do think we have a $100 fall in our midst, okay? So is everybody clear on the UNH thing? Yes or no? Awesome. Um, let's see. Next, let's take a look at TE here. Now, this is T1 Energy. Let me just kind of show you a little bit about the company. They are battery solutions, right? They are in Austin, Texas. Any other company you know of with a little bit of battery thing in good old Austin? This old Tesla, something I heard about, right? This old Tesla company. Basically, there is an easy partnership. They build a better battery, and that's always interesting to see. So T1 Energy 17, it's at like 616 or something like that. You know, we were as high as $9. I think this is one of those solid state battery companies. Interested in it. I haven't bought any. Don't know if I'll buy any right now. Probably will wait till after earnings, let it fall a little bit, and then get back in or get in for the first time. So this is something that's just on my radar or LiDAR, if you will. Another battery company is BYD, my friends. BYD. Let me tell you a little bit of something about good old BYD, the company, which is, you know, it may be BYD. BY, is that them? Yeah, so BYDDY, I think it is the OTC version. I'll have to make sure the ticker symbol. I'll put it in the comments on my on this video when I get it posted, but I'll plug it into Discord. But Blade Battery or BYD battery. You know how I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's this little car company out there called Mercedes. Has anybody heard of this company called Mercedes? Yes or no? Right? Little company called Mercedes. Well, they tell people all the time that, oh, these Chinese cars are inferior and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? There was a breakdown of their new GLC 300 EV coming out and of their new CLA 300 coming out and their new, all their new EV lines. Well, guess what that person found when they broke down their vehicles? A Battery by BYD. Ain't that something? That now look, my uncle, my whole family is either from my dad's side of the family is from Georgia or Alabama. And my uncle lives in a city called Vance, Alabama, and his neighbor, when I met him, he said this, and I've never said it. I've never not said it this way, but he works as I quote up there at that Mercedes plant, and I love that the way that's said right there. I love it. Okay, so he works up there at that Mercedes plant, and they make the finest vehicles in America, as he said. And look, they're using Chinese parts now. So is Ford maybe switching to it. Tesla has been using it, but then this new solid state battery's coming in, and that's going to be an absolute game changer as well. Let's get into some more stocks here. ANET. Oof. I still think ANET is headed down. 133 is the minimum, is where I see ANET falling down to, which would fill this gap right here. And then we may see this rally up to 170. But right now, it is 133 is where you need to be looking. And hopefully that's filled. You know, hopefully we don't see this gap at like 82 or anything like that. Look, I will tell you guys, let me just be perfectly clear. The day of reckoning in the tech space is coming. When, where, what's the catalyst? Don't know, but it is coming. I'm just letting you guys know. Be cautious with your trades. Taking profit, look, you'll never be broke if you take profit. You don't go broke if you're constantly taking profit. And it doesn't mean you have to take all the profit, right? You can trim your position and still hold a few shares. That way, you're just limiting your exposure. Or, on a stock like this, my stop would have been like right here at 160. Yeah, I may have lost from, $19 a share, but I didn't lose $39 a share. That's a big difference, right? That extra 20 bucks hurts a whole lot worse. And we have this thing. This is actually part of my dissertation. Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize for economics, created what's called prospect theory. And prospect theory, there's four tenets to it. Basically the main tenet that people often associate with it is that the joy of winning is far outweighed by the pain of loss. But yet people constantly put themselves in situations where they will experience more loss, but not experience the joy of winning. Okay? Not experience the joy of winning. So this is like, look, even with an earnings beat, probably forward guidance was bad. And so we're seeing it tank. And we're also getting data center delays. And I think more of them will be delayed, mainly because of costs of energy and food and water and resources, is why I'm going to say that we're going to see more data centers delayed this year and next. Okay. Let's see. What is your study? Oh, my study for my dissertation, BK? It's on wealth and building wealth and the tools used to build wealth and how certain wealth in tools don't really work. And this is the hedge fund trender. I also have my own system that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks, and I'll be creating a stock version that you'll be able to use. You'll be getting access to as well. So that'll be coming out in the next week or two. Let's see here. Let's go with I'm all over the place like space. SNDK. SNDK still rallying up. Look, I think we're getting a little overbought and overextended here, personally. If you don't have a stop yet, well, there's a couple of areas that you can use for your stops. 1340 would be good, 1188. But if you want to keep it tighter, right? I mean, if this fell 60 bucks in a day, wouldn't you be happy that you were out? Wouldn't you be happy that you're out? Thomas, a lot of stuff has to happen once that, for that to happen, but it could be huge, right? He's also building the largest data center in the US in Texas out there in West Texas. So, where can we enter SNDK? I would be comfortable at one of these lower gaps. I'm not entering SNDK right now. I would not be entering it for a while anyway. I won't tell people to enter it for a while as well. I believe that SNDK will come back down to 1188, 1008, or 718. That's where I would be looking to enter in. 718, I'd be comfortable. Anything 1008, I'd be comfortable with like a small position. 1188, probably wouldn't enter in. And that's just, look, granted, I manage money for a living. We do well, but the goal is for us is also, and this should be everybody's goal. It's not It's not how much you make, it's how long you can trade. Because like I have the ability to just continuously hold and move, take on more risk and take on more trades and build, right? AMD, again, this is another one. Massive gap right here at 355. Massive gap at 306. Massive gap at 222. You can ask a couple other traders in here that I warned them on gaps on certain stocks. And some listened, some didn't. And they're stuck in some trades. One trade is ASTS. And we finally hit a downward de-extension. We're finally seeing a little bit of upward momentum in there. They do have earnings coming out on Monday, May 11th. They have beat earnings 1, 2, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times in their existence. I'm going to go ahead and forecast this is going to be another miss. I'm going to go ahead and forecast this is going to be another miss. But guidance may be good on this. Maybe we see this rally up. I could see this getting to anywhere from 80 to 85 bucks. And then another fall back down into $36 range on ASTS. Let's keep it rolling. SHAK. Oh, good old Shake Shack. Shake Shack. Whoa. Yeah, look, expensive burgers ain't the thing to be slinging these days. I'll tell you that. Look, I wouldn't be involved in Shake Shack. I would be out of that thing so like as much as possible. One, I think there's a movement for healthier eating. Two, I think their food costs are way too high. Three, I think just their pricing for the everyday American that would purchase Shake Shack is a little too high in this economy with high food prices, high gas prices, high mortgage rates, high interest rates, high credit card debt. It just isn't going to last. And this is that first crater, right? We're seeing the consumer start to fail, and this is a great example. This is a company I would stay away from. It's as toxic as a McDonald's hamburger. So stay away from, right? Exactly, Steven. I thought I was crazy. It's all right in a pinch, but their food ain't even that good. Their food's not even that good, to be honest. Now, the one in New York, now, mind you, I'd walk 9 miles for the day, pulled into Grand Central. They had one right there. I grabbed a burger and went up back to my hotel. That was the best burger ever. So let's see. Amen, Stephen. I could make a better smash burger at home. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's look at CHPY. Oh, semiconductor portfolio ETF. Hey, look, I'm all for this. As long as we are, staying above the trend line, good. If this breaks below 70, let's say if this breaks below $71, sell part of your position. I'm going to give you guys my sell targets on this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there. So I'm going to make these red. This is like my, what you call, how I put this, like the, oh crap, I'm getting done with this trade. Take my toys and I'm going home, After 67, 68, I would have zero ownership in this. After 67, 68, I would have zero ownership in this. Okay. I'm just telling you, because then it's going to 63 and then 57 and then it'll go back up. But 57 and 63 is where I'd buy. These three areas, if I was in, is where I would say, right? Hey, yeah, sure it does. It did right there. Fantastic. Let me just tell you this. Parabolic movements never last. If you think they do, let me introduce you to my little friend called Bitcoin. You can look at that and you can see what parabolic movements do. They tank, right? They tank. And parabolic movements are what we're seeing in a lot of these stocks, and they never last. They absolutely never do. All right. They absolutely never do. Um, PayPal. And then I must go after this one. PayPal, PayPal, PayPal. Oof. So here's one of the interesting things. Yes, they got punished for layoffs. Look, there's still some downside risk in this, but ultimately, there's a lot of upside potential because not to be the whole like mean capitalist Scrooge McDuck over here, but when you lay off people, people are your biggest expenditure. So you're going to probably see upward movement, you know? I think that it will fill. I like PayPal to 65 long term. Short term, I like PayPal to 50. My entry, I would ideally love an entry to at 43. So I would buy at 45 and put on like half of what I would normally buy and then execute another trade at 43. Okay? Execute another trade at 43. Right? So let's see. One more. I got time for one more quick one. Let me look here. Surely I wouldn't, for me, I've been out of Intel. I'm just waiting on the pullback. I'm just waiting on the pullback there. And hold on. Yep. Let me use this example, and I think you'll get this, okay? So we'll do Intel. Intel, we saw this massive run up to 124. This is the definition of a parabolic movement. Parabolic movements, if you want to look, Google, what is it? The Tulip Trade 1800s. This was the price and the chart of tulips in the 1800s, right? 1634, they ran up, ran up, ran up, ran up. Then people went crazy with tulip mania. The price of a tulip bulb was like $200. And then somebody said, these are freaking flowers. What are we doing? The market burst and it came crashing back down to like $1. And that's literally what happened. That was November to February, February to May. This was a real thing that occurred. Was tulip mania. It happened. It wasn't like this didn't happen. It's been the same type of movements have been happening since the 1600s. And we see these crazy, wild, absolutely absurd parabolic movements of these quote unquote to the moon rocket ship movements. And then all that means is that more than likely, when it turns over, it crashes and people lose out. This is the same thing as a pump and dump in the penny stock market. It is the same thing that we see over and 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 over again. And you don't want to get caught in this. This is a who has the bag because you don't want to be caught holding the bag when this crashes, right? This isn't sustained growth. Now, I was in Intel from $18 all the way. I sold my last share at like 86 bucks. Now I'm done. Said I'm good. That $40 movement, y'all can have it. I'm happy. 18 to 86, I'm good. This movement, I'm good. I'll buy back in at 66. I'll buy back in at 53. I'll buy back in at 25. But I'm not going to buy in up here because it'd be a lot like getting in on the roller coaster at the top. The only thing left is for you to yell and scream on the way down. Okay, is that clear? That's actually a really good analogy. I'm proud of myself on that one. I'm pretty good on that. That one was pretty good even for me, okay? I mean, a broken clock's right 2 times a day, right? So Intel is way too overvalued. Way too overvalued. Now, look, Apple's in talks with Intel, and Intel's a part of a government company and all this other stuff. Like, you're at a peak. Don't get caught in the roller coaster. It may go up a little bit, but it's going to come down and you're going to yell and scream, and then you're going to be stuck on it until it's done. So that's something that I will leave you guys with here tonight. I'm going to wrap this up. I got another meeting to jump into, but appreciate all of you guys for being in the Sunday session. Oh, I'm gonna send you guys next week. I'll send you guys more information on booking time with me. And then I have all of your emails, so I'll get one of my agents. You're gonna get emails from all of my agents, like each group of you guys. To if you want to set one-on-one time up with myself, Brent, they're going to be in those meetings, and I'm going to have people do that. So be on the lookout for that this week. It's going to be from my company, which is One Life FL. Website is being finished. One Life Financial. That's my company that helps manage assets, put you in a better place tax wise, help protect your retirement, so that way, when we have a correction, not if, when, you're not paying the price for it. So with that said, guys, I want to leave you guys with actually a new quote that I absolutely love, which is, God will sell you anything at the price of labor. I love that, right? You can have anything you want in this world at the price of labor. Just got to be willing to do the work for it. With that said, love you all. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I will see you guys in another webinar very, very soon. Have a good one.